Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my first video. My name is Dennis Kim. I'm a financial analyst here at CB Finance. Today we're going to be talking about a software program called PowerPivot. It's an add-on to Microsoft Excel 2010, part of the Microsoft Office software suite. It was originally a goal of mine to really research and investigate, see if we could leverage this new technology in our data and financial analysis. It turns out it's a tremendous resource, so I'd like to share with you all what I'd learned in hopes that you might be able to leverage this technology as well. So we're going to talk about the current limitations of regular pivot tables, how PowerPivot is actually a better tool for financial analysis in certain instances, and we'll go through some specific examples of how it might be able to help you in your data analysis. So let's get started here. So we've always seen this new quote, data is new oil. I like this quote in response to that. It really stresses the importance of companies that use their data efficiently are at a huge competitive advantage. One example here, as you can see, Amazon is the recommendation engine for products. They record all the product usage information. They record browser history information, and they actually use that to recommend certain products, much like our job recommendation technology. So on the flip side, companies that don't actually collect their big data and are not able to analyze this are at a huge disadvantage. So this all led me to find this new program. It's called PowerPivot 2010. It's a brand new add-on for Excel, part of the Microsoft Office software suite, and it's best part about it, it's a free download. You can get it at microsoftpowerpivot.com, and there's some huge advantages here in terms of data analysis. The sheer volume of data you can analyze is a lot larger than what you can with regular pivot tables. Some of these other advantages include SharePoint integration. You can create these dashboards, well, I'll show you in a few slides here, and as well as multiple graphs from a single set of slicers, which is a really great tool if you're reporting and you want to visually kind of depict what the actual change either month to month or year to year is, and I'll show you that as well. So here's some of the application. This is one of the examples on the Microsoft website. Let me go and show that to you here. So this is one of the dashboards you can create with PowerPivot. Now it's great because all you have to do is update data, and the tables automatically repopulate as well as the graphs. So say you only want to report on a certain channel or business unit, you'll select that in the data here, and the graphs and the charts will update accordingly. So this is just one of the examples here. One of the other examples I want to show you is, let's go show you something I created for Career Builder. So I made this in a few hours. So this reports on specific products, and this can be adjusted if you want to report invoicing on revenue or TCV, what have you, core, non-core. You can create a new slicer here, so you can see that the new PowerPivot 2010 feature has slicers added here. And a great new feature is these three charts are actually connected to the slicers as well. So say you only want to report on job postings here, all the data refreshes, including these three charts here, and if you want to include something else, you can do that as well. So you want to include sourcing solutions, report on personified or multiple companies, you can do that as well. So it's a pretty intuitive, interactive way of reporting our data. You can see you can add these conditional formatting as well as spark lines here. You'll notice that the red is showing the low point of the quarter. So that's just one of the things you could do with PowerPivot. Let me show you another example here. Actually, let's go ahead and talk about the specific disadvantage. Let's go to the actual slide where let's see. Okay, so I think we were here. So let's resume our slideshow. Okay, so some current disadvantages of regular pivot tables are listed here. As I mentioned before, you can't really handle large data sets over several 100,000 rows. It slows down your computer. It's just really hard to manage, as well as adding custom pivot columns. I'll show you that in a sec as well. and you can't really join data from multiple tables. It's not relational. In PowerPivot you can. You'll see in our T&E example what that actually means. And so as far as dealing with really large data sets, you'll notice that your computer might slow down when you're doing some analysis on sets over maybe 50,000 rows. You can do that with PowerPivot, and as well as constant formula updating. And if you have a lot of reports you have to send out to multiple business units or channels or ASMs, you can actually send out one report instead of multiple files, which saves a lot of time. So as far as the other advantages go, we talked about the data compression here, and you'll notice that a certain file using a regular PowerPivot or a regular pivot table can take up to 12 megas of space. The corresponding PowerPivot table will take a fraction of that at 4 megabits. So there's some, if you're talking about lean, you're using less space as well. And of course you could analyze and change multiple graphs or charts based on one set of slicers, and it's a really familiar interface. So if you can use regular pivot tables, you can use PowerPivot tables. You don't really need any advanced experience working with database software as well. So I have a little chart here kind of comparing the two side by side, and one benefit with PowerPivot is that I really want to mention is the DAX expression. And this is basically a new formula and programming language that you can use to really filter down on what data you want to report, and I'll show you some of the benefits of that as well. So let's show some specific application on how this actually might be able you might be able to use this. So let's pull up. Okay, let's pull up the deferred revenue report here. So what we have listed here is basically the deferred revenue report that's listed in Buzz. So one of the main reasons why we run this report is actually a colleague of mine. She wanted to pull all the credit balances from this report. So the issue here is if you're reporting on this monthly, you have to do this month over month, and it's just a redundant process. But what's great about PowerPivot is you create the formulas at a column level, and so once you create a new column here, it becomes a pivotable amount in your new pivot table. So I created this formula here, close this, and you'll notice that this debit balance column is a pivotable amount. We throw that into the pivot table, and we have our listing here. On top of that, there was no channel or region information, and so we actually pulled a separate table of the cost center hierarchy and joined the table, and we created one pivot table, and so we could actually see where these credits are coming from. You can't do that with regular pivot tables. So that's one benefit I wanted to show you. Let's see. And in addition, you'll notice that there's a lot of fields in the existing pivot table here. And so the great thing about the PowerPivot feature is if we close this here, you can select and hide which fields you want to show. So if you're reporting on this, you can really simplify and drill down only the details that are relevant. So that's one example. Let me show you another example here. So we'll go back to the products dashboard, and you'll notice that one of the new features here, of course, are the multiple charts to a single slate of slicers. So if we want to only report on personified products and job postings, we can do that. And here I just made a little graph as far as product revenue allocation, count of contracts, total revenue. Of course, it's pretty much limitless as far as what you want to report on, and you can also include the conditional formatting that gives a visual depiction of the product allocation or how it's doing month over month, as well as if you want to report on multiple companies here, you could do that as well. So let's go back to our slide. Of course, as far as one of the new features I want to mention to you as far as PowerPivot concerned is the ability to add specific columns. And let's see, so here's one of the cubes that we're actually working with in terms of invoicing by channel. And say we want to compare variance month over month. One of the disadvantages of working with regular cubes is you can't actually create specific columns. And so here we have listed the variance between December and November. We have a percentage column here. And say we want to investigate only largest variance, so if we do a sort, you get an error message. So what's great about the other about PowerPivot is if you wanted to report on revenue or invoicing or whatever measure you're trying to report on, you can actually create these columns here using the PowerPivot DAX programming language. And so it's actually really easy to do. You can create that column, insert it here, as well as include a percentage total here. So, and that number, all you have to do is update the data, and the reports are automatically populated. You can include some specific conditional formatting or here as well. Just kind of get a visual depiction of where the variance is coming from. Say you want to investigate this variance in SRG. You'll drill down. You'll notice that it's the majors here, and you can keep on drilling down up to the account level. You'll notice that there's a large credit issued here, all the way down to the contract invoice level. You notice that there was an issue regarding trust and site security, therefore we had the issue of credit. So it's a really great feature to use with the new PowerPivot add-on. So one other thing I wanted to show you is, let's see, is some of the T&E reporting I created. So let's go ahead and open that. That's here. So here I pulled all the T&E reporting data. So depending on what data you actually have, it's limitless in terms of what kind of analysis you can do. This is all the T&E data by channel and by expense type. So say you want to do a comparison between the Lovelace region name or the Emmons region name, you can do that. And it's a breakdown by month as well. So you can actually include what expense type you want to report on. Say you just want the top 3, you can do that as well. And if you want to drill down on specific cost centers, that option is available too. So here we have the Dallas cost center and reporting on by expense type up here. Of course, you'll notice the conditional formatting as well as the data bars here. And you can even drill down by rep as well. And that information is listed here with conditional formatting and spark lines. So that's another new feature you can use. You can actually compare that with revenue information or invoicing information, kind of do that type of analysis as well. So that option is available. So let me see, I think that's all I wanted to show you today. So yeah, again, if you have any questions, contact the FST team. If you want to download this program itself, just contact help desk or go to the PowerPivot.com. It's a free download, and if you're not sure how to use it, if you want to integrate some of these dashboards into your reporting, let us know. Last minute, just want to kind of shoot out some references here. These are 2 great books if you want to learn more about it. The top is better of an introduction. The one on bottom, Microsoft PowerPivot for Excel 2010. It's really a great resource if you want to learn more about the DAX expressions. Yeah, so thank you for watching my video, and good luck with all your data analysis. If you have questions, just let us know. Thanks.